recorded. There we go. Welcome to day 2, guys. Day 2 of the financial paradigm reboot. Yesterday was such an amazing day. Like it was so good. A lot of people are having changes, and I can't wait for what we have in store for you guys today. But like we did yesterday, we always start in a very, very specific way. Where's my wife? Jazzy Jazz, where you at, girl?
I'm here, and I put the link in the chat. They're asking like a link to share with people. So I just put it in the chat.
My bad.
That's okay. That's why we're a team. Today is Thursday, Thoughtful Thursday. And on Thoughtful Thursday, you want to do something thoughtful for yourself or someone, usually someone else, because it makes, anyways. So on this Thoughtful Thursday, I want to say, you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you, God, for bringing us all together. Thank you for just allowing everyone to say yes to themselves, yes to an opportunity to not only get themselves together, but something that could impact their home, their business, their friends. They can influence someone else to see them making an improvement in their finances and encourages someone else to do the same. I pray that tonight is fruitful. We have really special guests who I'm sure will bring the fire. But I just pray that we have an amazing night. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen, amen, amen. And so y'all know what's after amen. She just prayed for the fire. So where's the fires in the chat, y'all? Who's ready to bring the fires in the chat? Drop some fires in the chat. Let's do this, y'all.
I don't do the most.
Who's ready for day 2? Who's ready for day 2? Drop some fires in the chat. Let's do it, y'all. Let's bring the heat, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Shot. I'm coming in hot.
Let's go. Fires in the chat. Let's go, y'all. We on day 2 financial paradigm reboot. We changing our paradigms. We making a change in our lives. Let's go, y'all. Hey.
Yeah, coming in hot. Let's go. Just like the fajita.
Let's get it, y'all.
Right where I live.
There you go. There
My
you
life
go.
in the speaker.
Let's bring the heat.
Nice
Bring the heat. Bring the heat. Bring
just
the
like the
energy. I
demeanor.
see you. I see you. Hey.
I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul to go to Korea. I love my dog.
Thursday. It is Thursday evening at 7:34 p.m. Eastern. And we are over here acting the fool because we're about to learn to make money. We're over here acting the fool, y'all. And on this day, like, it's just so necessary. Because some of y'all had really tough days at work. Some of y'all had different situations come up. Bringing the energy always changes how you feel. So I always encourage everyone, before you start doing anything, bring the energy, change your energy up, change your vibration, and you will see how remarkable you start to feel. So thank you all for being here for day 2. I am on East Coast. What's up? You just figuring this out? Come on, where you been at? Thank you all for being here on day 2 of the financial paradigm bootcamp. And we're gonna start the same way because I want to get in. We got so much planned for you guys, but let me share my screen real quick because we gotta do it. We gotta do it this way. And so it's the financial paradigm bootcamp, guys. The mindset and habits you need to be able to generate $1 million. Like, it's all about habits. You got great ideas and you need the habits to back it up. And these habits that you're gonna learn is gonna help you get there. And so we gotta tell you guys and show you guys what our mission is. Our mission here at Purpose Ways is to transform minds by influencing, motivating, and coaching aspiring entrepreneurs and seasoned entrepreneurs while empowering them with tools to succeed. That's our mission. That's why we exist. That's why this company puts together these events to empower people. We put together several events a year to be able to empower others, teaching them the things that we wish we knew when we were getting started. And so that's the mission of this company. So guys, before we dive in, We got to pay attention. I want you guys to be present with me. You guys need to be here with me. So close the door, silence the phones. If you've already sent out your invite and you've already invited people, now I just want you to put your phone aside, put your notifications, like hide your notifications, whatever you got to do, because I want you to be locked in, so locked in that you're not going to miss anything, because the information that we're going to share with you today has the potential to change your life if you're present. So do me that favor, y'all. Y'all with me? Who can do me that? Put a yes in the chat. If you can do me that favor, say yes in the chat. Who's with me? Who's going to be present with me? I want to know. I want to see. That's not enough. We got a lot of people in here. That's not enough yeses. I need committed people that's in here. And so let's start with revisions. What was y'all major takeaway? I love interaction, guys. So right now, I want some of you guys to raise your hands and come share with me some of your major takeaways that you've had yesterday. I want to see if we're wasting our time or not. I want to see who's actually soaking in something in understanding or not. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a quick second. And who's going to join me and share what your biggest takeaway was? Who wants to share with me what your biggest takeaway from yesterday really was? I'm going to have to take soldiers. Shauna, what you got, girl? Shanna, my bad. I got you up here now.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't find my mouse pointer for a second.
All good.
So my biggest takeaway was I learned that the first step to overcoming your problems or your paradigms is actually knowing what they are. And I took the test, the link on the test that you gave us, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so me. Even the questions before I even got to the point where it told me what type I was like, oh, these questions, oh, because first it was you may be and then you may not be. And I'm like, oh, right in the middle there, it kind of switches from one side to the other. It was really eye-opening.
So who are you? What are you?
I'm the unbalanced, wait, what was it called? I forgot what it was called. The unbalanced. Help me out here.
Let me pull it up.
Let me see. I think I took a picture of it.
Man, that homework didn't last very long, huh?
It did. I have a bad memory for specifics. Hold on. I took a picture of it. Okay. It was laid back balancers.
Laid back balancers.
Yeah, so money is a tool to me, and I value what it can do for me socially more than I value the money itself.
Man, that is so important to know. And so what about the people in your home? Is the people in your home, do you think are you married?
No, I'm not. And I just ended a relationship a little bit ago, and we were opposite in every single way.
Okay.
Like, don't save, don't spend, don't have any debt. And I'm like, dude, you cannot let money hold you back in life. Like, what are you doing? You can't take that with you. But the relationships that you build, they can stay with you forever. So we just had like two completely different outlooks on everything.
So here's what I want you to do now.
Okay.
On your app, your Match.com app, I need you to put this application and say, hey, for you to date me, you got to fill this out, right?
I'm gonna do internet dating.
And you put the test on there. I'm so serious. Well, maybe not put it on your profile, but you should want the people that you date or talk to, like, this is gonna help you not waste time. Legit. It's going to help you not waste time. You're going to see if we're a match or or at least how to communicate with them. Right? You don't have to be a match. You just got to know. Again, remember when I showed you guys the blind person walking? Like, if you know someone is blind, you treat them and you give them a level of grace. So now that somebody knows what money and how you value money, now they know how to treat you and how to handle you. It doesn't mean that you got to be the same. Otherwise, y'all ain't going to go nowhere, right? Y'all going to do the same thing and probably crash and burn the same way, right? So it's good to have different money signs, but it's good you got to know. And so thanks for sharing that. You look like you got one more question.
Well, growing up, I started trying to reflect on what paradigms I had about money. And, my mom stayed home with us and my dad worked. And it's like, literally, there were no paradigms put in me about money at all. Even when I asked, it was like, don't worry about it. It's none of your business, blah, blah, blah. So like, I didn't really have anything about money.
Could I tell you that you just actually said the paradigms that you do have about money?
Yeah.
What did your mom tell you?
You mean my dad or
Your
my
dad.
mom? My dad.
Either one.
He
You
was
said
like,
that they told
money,
you don't
money's
even
none of
ask
your
about it.
business. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, and I even told him, I said, Dad, do you expect me to just automatically know everything as soon as I turn 18? Like, who's going to teach me if you're not?
All right, guys. So let's look at this, right? So you said that your sign on the test, your results were, you were a laid back balancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Explain, because I want you to use your own words and explain what you took away from that as to how you treat money. And it's so you.
That this Michael Moss guy, can you mute yourself? Because you keep popping up instead of Keston right in front of me.
I got you.
Thank you.
Oh, you got muted. Where you at?
There we go. Okay. Okay, say the question again. What did that tell me about?
No, tell me about your sign, what you took away from your results.
That I really don't have enough education about money.
No. Tell me what you took away from your results. Like, what did your results say? Tell me, like, you were like, man, this is totally me. You said it a little earlier.
I
Say it
value
again.
relationships and people and what money can do for me as a tool. Like, money is like a tool for me to shower my children with whatever they need or want, or to spend time with my friends, to buy a round of drinks for everybody or whatever. Like,
so do you see how you actually don't want to keep it? You're like, I'm just gonna use it. Now let's go back to what your dad said. What did your dad say? Don't ask me about it. Don't. And so mentally, it's like, well, money is not for me. It's bad. It's there are these things where you just want to get rid of it.
yes. And then there were also times, and I'm sure a lot of other people had this same experience, where one person, the not the bill payer or budget person in out of your parents or whatever, said, don't go near them right now. They're writing out bills. They're very agitated and annoyed. You don't want to go near them right now. Don't bother them.
Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? What seed does that plant in you about money?
That money does not make you happy. It makes you angry, and you should stay away from it.
There you go. And so you want to be social with your money because you're like trying to reverse the curse, so to speak.
Yes.
Right. And so this is how, so you said that they didn't give you any financial paradigms. They did.
Right.
It just wasn't ones that was spoken. It was ones from actions and the things that they said, which is why your habits about money is what it is right now. So now you're able to identify it. So we're going to talk more about more things today that could probably help you go further with the knowledge that you now have.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Shauna.
You're welcome.
All right. Jen, what you got, girl?
Well, I was hoping to bring you guys a little bit of a variety, but I'm also a balancer. But my big takeaway was really just driving home the need to break the cycle. I'm going to get all buzzy. I'm going to try not to get emotional about it, but yeah, just kind of a reminder that even though I've been aware for a long time that I need to break the cycle, that there's still a lot more work to do. Like, money is something that you have to work so hard for. And when you get it, everybody else wants it. But also when you're successful, and this is like from when I was a kid stuff, when you're successful, then everybody wants what you have, but they also hate you for it.
Yeah. And what do you do about that?
Well, now I know that's way more about them than me. Like, I'm sorry to make you uncomfortable with my success, but I'm done with that.
So you gotta think about it like this, right? If you're in an environment where people around you don't have the same education that you're now learning about money, remember, and I like to phrase it like this: you are just like them yesterday, right? Like, you got along, everything was great, and so now that things are changing, now you're starting to see, where do you go?
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Now that things are changing and you're taking the wool off your eye and you're starting to see things a little different, and you're making more money, or you're making moves, or you want to change, they're gonna think that you're changing, and you are. You can't stay the same. Anything that stays the same is dying. And so your environment will try to keep you to where that environment is. And I think it's just a part of the process of elevation.
Yeah. But it's just really weird how you can, even though you're like logically aware of the need for change, you can still keep breaking even though you feel like you're doing all the right things. There's still something that you still gotta dig out.
Well, hopefully today you learn more habits that would help you elevate and get past, because knowing is one section. And so yesterday we dealt a lot with the mindset and just being able to identify where you are and kind of just be like, crap, this is actually here, right? Today is designed to give you habits to move you from where you are.
Yes.
So get excited about today. Today is gonna be that day. I could take one more before we gotta get moving. And I'm not gonna take somebody with their cameras off. So Yoli, I really want to talk to you, but if your camera is off and I can't see you, I don't know. Yoli going once. Yoli going twice. Yoli. We gotta go to Kat. Kat, what's going on?
Unmute. Okay, there we go. I think I
Hey.
muted myself. Hey, so happy
What's
to
up?
be here. Hey, yeah, I kind of needed this yesterday because going through sub 2 only like 4 or 5 months ago, and then multifamily like 2 years ago, I was like, I gotta do this, and I brought my husband into it yesterday.
Nice.
We own a small business. We were the ones with the baby yesterday. He's sleeping now. And I was like, I have to make an effort to be here, show up for myself. That's been my whole thing. So yesterday we were talking about couples, and we've been on the same road in our small business, like just like soaring, and we've been called the power couple, and we've been doing great together. Then I kind of broke off a little, and I'm like, I really need to make sure that, you know, if you know, in our events business, I'm like, if I don't work at that moment, I'm not making $1. So that's how I kind of pivoted to real estate. But that kind of shifted me and my husband, right? Because we were this power couple going on the same business. So you were talking about partnerships yesterday, and that really touched me. And he was on the call, and we even like after the Zoom, we like dove deep into the test and how even we talk about money. And it was so interesting because that yin and yang thing, like he's like Shayna, who is the laid back person. Yeah. And I'm the total confident, balance type person. So we're a yin and yang, but we found ourselves like butting heads a little bit the last couple, weeks, because I'm like, my mindset, my paradigms have shifted so much that I'm like, I need to change, like, our trajectory. Like, I want to make sure that like, I'm young right now. I could work right now towards like our investing goals. And like, I need to be on that path. But at the same time, I feel like we're drifting apart. So when you were talking about partnerships yesterday, and even though we have to like understand each other, we don't have to like always be like, like ingrained in that way. So it was really powerful yesterday. We're still growing, and we love each other so much. Like we're constantly present, like with each other, and it's really hard to make that shift and change those paradigms, because the business and that event side like pulls me back so much more. It has such a force, being like, you need to go that way, and you need to go back to what you're doing, and you need to go back to that, and that's where the money is, and all these excuses, even my husband pulling me, everybody's pulling me that way. Like, you need to attend to this. But I feel like I've hit such a stride going the opposite way. Like, I need to hone into that. So thank you for that. I really just wanted to kind of give that. And it is a huge work in progress, changing your paradigms for sure. It's not something that's so easy. And yeah, that was my 2 cents from the whole thing.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Kat. There's so much to unpack there. If I did it, we'll be here till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just and I'm so tempted. This is my sauce right here. Right? I love digging into things like that. But thank you for sharing. Maybe one day we'll be able to dive deeper into that.
Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely. And so guys, yesterday was so powerful, and you guys now have tools to understand yourself, understand the paradigms that your partner has. That was the goal for yesterday, is getting that mindset, those habits, identifying what some of those paradigms are, so that you could start relating it to your parents, you could start relating it to your partner. And it's so interesting that Kat shared how her and her partner was able to sit down and kind of discuss their differences and see that they're yin and yangs. And so when my wife and I did something very similar to that assessment, it helped me to understand. And so we started to find a groove in our personal life. We started to find a groove in our personal life. But once business started, things started to arise again. And so our guest that I have here, David, our first guest, he could tell you that one of the first conversations, I remember we brought him onto our podcast, and I was just so blown away by his story and what he stands for and what he's after. And so super excited, I ran to my wife and I'm like, babe, we totally need to do this. Like, I had this dude on the podcast, he wrote this book, and we should arrange our money in our home, in our business like this. Ran into that brick wall. I ran into that brick wall because that wasn't her paradigms at the time. And so this is where a lot of people get into arguments, and we may have gotten into 1 or 2 over it. I'm not gonna lie, maybe 1, but we didn't see eye to eye on that. And so here's where the grace came in, and David, he would please keep me honest here, because from our first conversation to when I finally came back and said, David, I'm ready, bro. Like, we're finally ready to move on, which was probably like a year ago, but it was a year in between us from when I met you to us actually starting to work together and really starting to change our habits. So understanding the paradigms and the things is one thing, but actually applying it and applying new habits is another thing. And that's why our guest, David Richter, is here. Profit First. David, what's up, bro?
What's up, Kes? I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me here, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So everyone here may not know what Profit First is, right? What is it? What's this concept of Profit First?
So I got turned on to this concept in this book because my background's real estate investing. I know I look like the numbers guy. That's my MO. I mean, I understand. But that's
Totally.
where being in the real estate world, been a part of over 850 deals up to this point from 2012. Like I have a heavy real estate background. That sounds like a lot of deals, but it's not a lot when you're doing 25 deals a month and spending 26 worth out the door. That sucks. Like, who cares that you're doing that many deals or that you've built this big of a business if you're not going to keep any of the money? If you're just going to whittly like make $1 million and spend 1.1, that's not fun. So that's where it even got me down this rabbit hole of there's got to be a better way. Like, we're making money and we're doing a lot of deals. Like, why aren't we keeping enough? That's what even turned me on to Profit First. And that book the original was written by Mike Mikowicz. And honestly, if you've ever heard of the envelope system that Dave Ramsey's made popular, or your grandma, or you do it in your personal finances, that's the core system behind Profit First. But I think I've got a lot to say on this subject, Kes, so you're going to have to stop me at some point. But that's where I also realized too, this is something that's hit me more recently, is that I thought I was playing the real estate game. Like, I was really good at that. We were really good at that as a team, getting the deals, making the money. Like, you're here with Kes, you're going to learn how to make money. Like, you take action, you're going to make money. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, especially in the real estate world, whatever it is that you go down, whatever path you apply yourself and you have good mentors like Kes, you're going to make money.
David, I know where you're going. Hold on, pause. Yeah. I just want to see if people are here. If you feel like you work really hard and you've been grinding, you've been hustling, you've been doing everything, drop a 1 in the chat real quick. I just want to make sure that people are here, because I don't know if they're following you, like, because that's what you're talking about. You're talking directly to these grinders, these people who are working so hard, over 12-hour shifts a day. But what's the problem?
Right? I mean, they make money but feel broke. And we think income is going to solve everything. We think the next deal, the next sale, everything. That's going to be the answer to the problem. And the other big problem is we think we're playing the real estate game, or we think we're playing whatever it is, that the vehicle you've chosen to play the real game that you're playing. You're all playing the money game. I don't care. Like, that's what you're really playing here. And that's where I felt like Profit First. He asked me about Profit First. That's where I felt like I had read a lot of books, like Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All these books say the same thing. Pay yourself first. Make sure you have a portion of all you have is yours to keep. Like, put first things first in the 7 habits. Like, this whole concept that Profit First teaches about paying yourself first, I'd heard. But then there was a system behind it. This was how to play the money game to win. Like, $1 comes in, what do I do with it? And it was simple. That's what attracted me about it, because I'm a simple person. Like, I run a fractional CFO business, like that people come in and it's a chief financial officer person. But my background, real estate investing. I'm not a bookkeeper, CPA, accountant, like none of that. That was not my background. But I saw that so many people hustle and grind, but don't make money. That's exactly where we were. And I just was like, I know that this can help people. So that's why I read the book. That's why once I started helping people, I wrote the real estate investing version, because I'm like, this concept is not just a concept, and it's not just talk. There's a system. What you were talking about, Kes, it's building good habits with money on the business side too, and in your personal life.
And that's the message that I'm trying to instill in people over time, because it starts with the mindset, because you'll never try to build a good habit if you don't think anything is wrong.
Yeah.
And so we've identified yesterday the mindset behind the paradigms as to what's keeping people where they are, and understanding their money archetype, right? Like who are you naturally when it comes to money? And it's not naturally, it's what was poured into you when you were a kid, really, right? The environment that you were in. So we covered that yesterday. So tell me, I'm a hustler, I'm grinding, I'm working, I'm doing my best. I feel like I'm making money, but I'm not seeing it. What do I do, man? What do I do? What is the system?
So, okay, there's two big things. So we'll go over the first one because this is like how you win the money game. Okay, this is the first part that you need to know about and that I want to make sure that everyone has here. Like, this is practical stuff. Like, this
Take
is
notes.
Yeah, exactly. So how many of you know what winning looks like for you? Not what someone else has told you, but what winning looks like for you. That's the secret. There you go. There's the big secret sauce here is, do you know what winning looks like for you? And when I say that, let's put it on a practical level. Do you know how much you need from your business on a monthly basis? So you're out of your real estate or your entrepreneur rat race. Like if you traded W-2 living, or you want to trade W-2 paycheck to paycheck living, I don't want you going into real estate or entrepreneur or like whatever it is that you're doing and then live month to month there, or deal to deal, or sale to sale, or like just the next thing. So we need to know, what do I really need from the business? And that's where I call it finding your keep number. What do you need to keep? Because man, I love that you talked about that yesterday, because this is what I talk about a lot too. Like, we're conditioned not to be the business owner. We've never been taught the money game. We've never been taught this concept. And it's like, we're just supposed to go out there and figure this out. And a lot of you can make money, but keeping it is a different skill set. And it's like, that's where having a simple system like a Profit First can help you keep more of that money. But the first thing I would do is find what winning looks like for you. I was literally at an event yesterday, like a mini mastermind in Jacksonville. And they were all talking about like, oh, want to grow and scale. And I just kept asking the question, what do you really want though? Like, what do you want from your life? Like, are you a parent? Do you want more time with your family? Well, then why are you trying to double, triple this, where that's going to take more of your time, like 80, 90, 100-hour weeks? You know, like, are you wanting to do that and sacrifice right now and do that for the next few years? Or do you want to be like, what can I do? How solve a better problem, but solve your problem? So like, what do you need from the business? Because a lot of people run their business on the hope and pray plan. I hope I make enough and I pray there's some left over. And that is the best way to bury yourself into the ground and be like, I'm hustling. There's no money at the end of the day. So it's first that mindset, but first getting that keep number. What is that keep number for you? And I've got an even deeper story there. You want a good book? Like, I'm sure Kes is full of good books. Like, anyone who makes money, who does this, is usually a reader, right? We know we take that information, we soak it up, and we take the good, leave the bad. There's a great book though, Crucial Conversations. If you've never read that book, that has changed my life, but it changed my home life with my wife. It changed it with my team, the leadership team, and the team at my, that Simple CFO. Like, a lot of things changed when I read that book. But one of the chapters in there is called Retaking Your Pen. Okay, we're going to go a little deep here on you.
Let's go.
Because in that chapter, they talk about your pen is your self-worth. And when you're born with your pen in your hand. You're writing your story. You're writing it. It's like you're dancing like nobody's watching, right? Until you get a little bit older. Maybe you start going to school. I've got a 6-year-old little girl that I love like no other. She started going to school and I can even see it right now, even as young as 6 years old. What is she wearing? What are they acting like? How do I fit in? How am I accepted? Then forget it. Junior high, high school. Yeah, right. It's like, how do I fit it? Like, do I need to be on the sports team? Do I need to be doing this, that, or the other? Do I need to join this club? All that type of stuff. How do I get in? Then you give up your pen, your self-worth, to that acne face, snotty nosed teenager, and it's like, you wonder why you have teenage angst at that point, because a lot of us didn't have good, emotionally intelligent people saying, hey, be confident in yourself and who you are. If you're on this call though, at some point you picked up your freaking pen and said, I have enough self-worth to be here with Kes tonight and to invest in myself at a 7:30 on Eastern time, like to get, to 9 o'clock to say, I'm going to write my story again. I don't want you though, basing what you win and what winning looks like to you on what someone else says. It's very easy to go out to Facebook guru land or the TikTok and all the reels and stuff and like, oh, that person's doing 1 million or David did 850 deals. Like, I want to do that or whatever it might be. No, what does winning look like for you? Hold your pen firmly and get inspiration from other people, but then say, what do I need? And that's where I want to make sure you have that keep number. What do I need on a monthly basis right now? So number one, I'm not in survival mode anymore. If you're in survival mode, every decision is made from fear. I don't care what if you're just always uptight about the money, you've got your shoulders all scrunched up, you can feel the tension in your neck, like that's a horrible place to live. And if you're like that with your money right now, you're not able to think, what do I do with this money? All this money that I have, or like, how do I get more? Or how do I give away money? Or how do I accomplish my purpose? That's where it's like, we got to take the line in the sand and say, what does winning look like for me? What do I need to keep? So I want to make sure that's the first thing. I do have that thing as well, Kes, like if you want to share that, because I've got a practical thing they can take away from this as well.
We're definitely going to jump into that. And it's so funny because I help a lot of people reverse engineer their goals. And I would ask, hey, what's your goal? Like, what do you want to accomplish? And they will throw out a number, like literally out of their butt.
Right.
Like, I want 20,000 a month, 50,000 a month. And it's like, but why?
Right.
Why?
Great question.
Right. Like, because it just comes from nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you specifically. I wanted, guys, this is a boot camp. This is a boot camp. What do you do at a boot camp? You do work. Ooh. And so today, I've specifically asked David to come in and to help us all discover our keep number. So David, let's share how you could actually do your keep number. Who's excited to know their actual keep number and not the storybook? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're excited to know your keep number. Not something you just made up, but a real keep number. And so I asked David to give you guys a gift. This is the first gift for the night that you guys are going to get, where you're going to be able to work out on a document your keep number. And so let's drop it in the chat, David.
Let's do it. I'll drop this here. It's going to be view only. This is a Google Doc. If you've never done Google Docs, you'll go to file in the top left and copy it, and then you'll be able to edit it, and it'll be your own personal thing. Otherwise, everyone else and their mother would see what you're doing. So here we go. This is just, and it's 1 page. I'm very simple CFO, because I'm a simple guy. So this is 1 page, how to find your keep number. So there you go. I just dropped that in here. Didn't even collect your email address or anything. Like, look at that. Like, you get this for free. Like, that's because I want you guys to just take this and literally fill out that form. And if you have a spouse, this is a great way to talk about with them, or a business partner. It makes it simple for you to say, okay, what is my business currently providing, or what is it not? I'm at 0. And then really, what is my keep number? Number 4 is a very important question on that document. So that would be that first thing. Here's a practical step of what I was just talking about. So it's not just all pie in the sky. Oh, that sounds great, David. Here's homework that you can bring to Kes tomorrow and say, I figured this out, or I at least got a number that is more realistic to me than some pie in the sky, like you said, grabbing it out. But, you know, like, I hear that all the time. We ask that on those calls, and people, I'm like, how did you get that number? Like, it sounds good, or yeah, it came out of my butt. So there you go. There's a practical application and tool.
So David, what I want us to do, bro, is, do you mind if because in one of the modules, and we're going to talk about the modules and stuff later, you break this down.
I do.
Let's talk about each bullet, so somebody doesn't come and give me a cat ate my homework, or the dog, you know, like
sure,
all that type of stuff, right? I want to make sure you guys get the tools. Like, I'm super serious. This is a habit and a tool that you guys are going to be able to use to then take tangible steps. So let's break down number 1, David. Number 1, what does that mean?
The number 1, super easy. Do you have someone that's dependent on your income? Someone else that's dependent on you bringing something home? So my current expendable income must support myself and how many people? So if it's just you, It's zero. So it's just yourself. If you have if you got people in your life, it doesn't matter if it's a spouse or a child or if it's a parent or whatever, who depends on you. This is not a government form or a tax form that it's like, oh shoot, I put 2 instead of 1 and now my taxes are all screwed up. No, this is how many people depend on you. So number 1 is a super easy answer. How many people besides yourself depend on you? So
Okay,
that's number 1.
perfect. Number 2.
Number 2, do you have a spouse or life partner or anyone else in your life who contributes to your spendable income? So does someone else bring something home? Yes or no? And then what do they bring in? So if you've got someone else at home that's bringing in the bacon as well, what do they bring in as well as what you're bringing in? So amount that they bring in monthly, and yes or no. If it's no, that's a real easy answer. No, and then 0. So there you go. If it's yes, yes. And then how much are they actually bringing home that you can spend? Not their gross, but like what's deposited into the bank. If it's just get a roundabout number, if they're in sales or it's commission or something. That's number 2. Number 2 is easy.
Let's keep going. Number 3.
Number 3, the income my business generates represents blank % of my household spendable income available. So how much of your business is being generated like that you bring home that can be spent? If you're just starting out and it's a big fat 0, just put 0 there. Like if you haven't started. If you have started, it's going to take a little bit of thinking. Maybe now that I'm explaining the answer, this might be something to think about between tonight and tomorrow, is how much is my business providing? It's just a percentage. So is it 25%? Is it 10%, 50%? This is, if you're the sole provider, then it's 100%. If your spouse partner brings in spendable income, then it's 50. If you're a sole provider with a side, it's 25%. So how much does your business bring in? That's number 3.
Why is it important to know and understand that? It seems like a very common sense question, but I just want to drive it home.
Common sense is not so common anymore, right?
Right.
That's why we have to make sure that we know what is our household like. If you've never had this conversation with the people that are in your life, like if you have someone else that's bringing in the bacon, like how much do you want to bring in versus what they're bringing in, or how much is it? Or are you solely dependent on it? Like 100% needs to come from the business. It's not really providing that right now. It's like knowing that number of, hey, I've talked to the significant other people in my life, and like I've talked to my, amongst each other, and this is what we're committing that this business is going to bring in. Because it's also very easy if you have a W-2 spouse or partner, or if you have a W-2 to just say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we keep the money. Doesn't matter if I bring anything home. I'll just ride the coattails of the other person, or, from my W-2 or whatever. And it's like, then you build bad habits into your business. And you wonder, once you finally say, oh, I'm making enough to quit my job, why you aren't bringing any money home and putting it in your pocket. So there you go.
Perfect, man. And I dare to ask this question, but I like daring stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who, and this is for the people in the crowd, who does not do their finances with their partner? You live in the same house and you do not do your finances. They doesn't know how much you make. Doesn't matter. We got a few people.
Thank you for being honest.
Like,
thank you.
Absolutely.
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those things, guys, where you want to run real numbers and you really want to understand what your real expenses really are. Like, getting together on the finances is probably pretty important. Now, anyway, we wouldn't get into that right here.
I'll give you a hack too. If you're like, I don't want to go through, I don't know how to get my expenses. You could literally go to Fiverr and like send them your last couple months of your bank statement and like white out all the stuff on the PDF like that you send to them, like no account numbers, nothing like that. It's literally just what came out, what went in, and just have them do a nice little spreadsheet. Like, this is how much came in, this is how much went out, and where it all came from. Like, you could do something like that for like $5, $10, like on Fiverr or something.
Wow.
To do it for like an hour, because it'll take someone like that to put together a simple spreadsheet. So there's also no excuse to do that with the availability of the resources that are out there for very, very cheap. If you're like, I don't want to go through that, I personally think you should go through the exercise. Print out your last 3 months bank statements and be like, okay, how much did I spend? How much was actually deposited into my personal account? So that way I know where I am. And it's like, there you go. It's just getting some simple numbers together. So that's another thing too. Like if you're like, I don't even know my numbers, I gave you a very quick hack. If you want to be like, well, how do I do this for as cheap as possible? And what do I send to them? Send them your bank statements, white everything out that you don't want them to see, but not any of the expenses or anything. They need to see all that. And then make sure that they could put it in a format like a spreadsheet. You could just go in there and say, oh, shoot, for the last couple of months, I've spent this much. Holy cow. When you see that number, it creates clarity. Clarity creates confidence, even if it's a bad number. It creates the confidence to change. That's what clarity can do for you. So there you go. That was number 3, I think.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's keep
We're
going.
on number 4. Number 4. So how much do you need to bring in? This is the keep number. This is where you might have to do the spreadsheet type thing or go down that rabbit hole. Like if you want actual solid numbers and not just a guesstimate off the top of your head. But this is the one. I must bring in how much spendable income. And I say spendable income because that's like how much should hit your bank account, not the gross that you need to make. Like if you're in a business and you've got top line revenue, that's way different than what comes into your pocket. So it's like, what do I need to put in my pocket each month to support my current lifestyle from my business? If my business does not create it, I need to find an alternative source of income. So like, this is how much I need. This is not how much it currently brings in, but this is how much you need. This is that keep number. So this is something that you might have to talk about with your spouse. Like if you've got a significant other or someone at home, or your business partner, like if you've got a business with a business partner. So it's just making sure you find that number. What do we need to keep? That's a simple question, but it could be complicated because if you're just saying some number out of the sky, I don't want you to do that. I want to be more close to like, what do I need right now? And then think of yourself 6 months from now, if you're making more money, like what, get excited. Like what gets me out of my rat race? But then where do I also want to be like 6 months or a year from now, and keep going like that route, because it's a lot easier to place those simple goals than the 10-year, 20-year goal. Those are great, but it's more like, what do we need now? And how fast can I get to those different levels? So there you go. There's number 4. How much must you bring in for you?
And let me talk on this for a little bit, because guys, I know this sounds difficult. And to start, it may be. Like if you've never done this, if you've never tracked, if you've never really went down this rabbit hole, because that was me. I remember the first time when I started actually tracking on my personal finances, I did it over several months, because it was just very frustrating. But here's what I know to be true. You will not become a millionaire. You will not become who you probably want to be. Not even, maybe that's not even your goal. But if you want to create real revenue and a lot of money and keep it, these are habits that you're going to want to start cultivating. Start small. I don't care how you start. My goal is to try to get you guys to start and build the right habits. And this is what this paradigm bootcamp is about. Financial paradigm bootcamp is about. It's about building new habits. Remember, what's a paradigm? A paradigm is a habit. We're creating our own paradigms. We're creating our own habits. And I want you guys to start. What's number 5, David?
Well, before we go to number 5, I want to make it even easier. I'm going to give you access to one more folder here. It's called Profit First for Personal.
Ooh.
So Profit First is for the business, but I in here give you an actual spreadsheet that you could give to a VA or someone, or for you to fill out if you want to fill out your expenses. And it's going to set it up. I even have like an 8-minute video in there of how to fill it out. So like I'm going to give that in here as well too. So that way there's no excuse there. And I'm pretty sure, let me just make sure this link is also so you can actually see everything. You can view it. So you'll just have to create copies as well. So there you go. Access to that. So you get the spreadsheet that you could hand a VA or for you to fill in. I've got a little slideshow that I go through, but then also the actual like video of the walkthrough as well. So there you go. Hopefully that makes number 4 easier for you and gives you a framework. Honestly, it's a framework I use in my own life. So, and I had a lot of people asking for that. So it was like, here you go. Here's the thing that'll make your life easier to implement Profit First on the personal side. But there you go. There's number 4 and a better way to make it easier. Number 5. If you have a business, you're going to probably put something here. If you don't, it's going to be a big fat 0, number 5. But my business currently pays me X net spendable per month. So this is what you're currently doing. where number 4 was more like, what do I need to bring in? And if you're like retirement savings, all that, like, what does your keep number mean to you? I saw someone ask that. That's where I can't give you a specific answer. Like, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. If it's a number that you want to bring home and you want to save for retirement, it needs to go in that number. Like, if that's part of what you want to keep. But if you're like, no, I just want to get out of my rat race first, well, then that might be your first number. I don't want you to have limits on this. Like, I want you to say, okay, what do I really want? So someone said 76,000. If that's really the number that you come up with on a monthly basis, that's what should go in number 4. Like, if you've sat down and you've been intentional with that number, and it's not just some random number that you pulled out. 76 is like odd enough a number that probably someone sat down and said, what does this really mean to me? So I like that. But there we go. That's number 5. So my business currently pays me this much, and then it just breaks down. Is it from a W-2 in your business? Do you have distributions or bonuses, or is there other profit compensation that you have that's coming in? Then you total those up, and then you put it in number 5's line of, this is what my business is currently bringing in. So you know, this is what it's currently bringing. And if it's 0, there you go. You know, it's like you don't have a business yet if you're not actually bringing anything home. What's the spreadsheet say? Doesn't let editing. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to let you edit there. You got to go to the top left,
copy it,
and then file, and then copy it. Yeah, there you need to save a copy in Google Docs first. File, make a copy. Boom. Look at this. Thank you. Thank you for this. Yeah, I appreciate the other answers. So there's number 5. It's just, what are you doing currently if you have a business?
Number 6.
Number 6 is, so with that number, what you currently are bringing home, it provides what percentage of what I need to support my family's current lifestyle. So basically number 5 divided by number 4, you know, it's like making sure that, okay, how much am I bringing home? If I'm bringing home 5, but I need 10, that's 50%, you know, that my business currently provides 50% of what I need. Whatever it is for you. If it's a big fat 0, that's fine. Again, we're just trying to get to number 4, and then we can fill this out every quarter. Are you getting closer to that number? Like, can I go back and say, okay, when I first filled this out, I was close to 0, 1, or 2%. Now it's more like 25, 30. 40, 50, 100%. It's like, just seeing that number grow is very encouraging as well too. So that's number 6, is like, how much is it actually providing based on what you said you needed from your business? So that's number 6. Then number 7 is just like, this is where, is there anything else you want to plan for in the future? Or is there something 6 months? It's just a line in there. If you want to be thinking about, these are some other things in the future. Or if you sit down with your spouse, that's a good place to say, okay, where in the world do we want to go together? If you've got, you know, that significant other at home. Then number 8 is just, if you need help filling out the form, you can contact us and get on a call. That's all number 8 is, if you really want that. But that's the whole thing right there. And if you have questions on that, just make sure that you also watch the video. I do a video walkthrough even before number 1, and I go through and explain the numbers again. So if you're like, I didn't catch this, I don't want to wait till the recording's out, just click that video walkthrough and it should take you through me doing exactly what I did here as well too.
Bro, thank you so much for breaking this down, because I feel like this is the beginning of the habits. It's such the beginning of building new habits. Like, we would need to be in here for such a long time if we had to break down every single thing. This is like just the top of the surface. And I guess it's a good time to kind of share this would be the first announcement. So as I shared with you guys earlier before, Jazz and I, we've hired David, and David and his team, there are our fractional CFOs. And so all of our businesses go through, and we're guided by David and his team. And because of their absolutely amazing service and everything that they've done, I reached out, and I was having a call with my CFO on his team one day. And I'm like, hey guys, I have this idea. I'm working on this project. I want to put together this curriculum. How cool would it be if we were able to work together? And so some of you guys asked me and sent me messages asking about the Financial Paradigm Reboot program. So actually, David and I partnered, and he's also a part of that program, where he has given us a lot of modules and things that he has done. And you also get a lifetime access to his community. And so I'm going to tell you guys, to those people who did want more information, I'm going to share more information with you guys a little later. There'll be another link. I know this wasn't intended to be a sales call or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave it as that. If you guys want to hear more information, I'll share that Zoom link with you, and I'll share more information to those who does want more information about the program and all of that. But my partner is here, and how cool is it to have somebody that knows about money like that be a partner and also take care of your money, right? Like, how cool is his financial paradigms? Do you want to be guided by somebody like David? Put a one in the chat if you want to be guided by someone like David, right? Like, this is what you guys get access to. I told you guys I'm super excited about this program for a reason, and this entire boot camp. So David, bro, like, in closing, what final words would you like to leave the people with, man?
Okay, so here you go. So the finding your keep number is the first big thing. It's like, it's really setting, what does winning look like for you? Not what other people tell you. Take back your pen. Then Profit First is all about the system. That's where it's in those modules. I break down that system, and like, I don't care. And you say, well, is this for me? You know, like, I'm just getting started, or I'm just becoming an entrepreneur, or like, I wanted to do this to make more money. The sooner you can implement a system like this, the better habits you'll have from the beginning. I literally interviewed a guy, and you would all know his name because Kes is a part of his community as well too. But he told me that if I would have implemented Profit First from day one, he counted it one time, I'd have $5 million more in my account if I would have done Profit First from day one. But he's like, I had bad habits. I was doing it just like everyone else. Money comes in, money goes out. Whoops. And he's like, now that we have that, it's that peace of mind. But that's where I'm like, if you are just starting out, you're at a great place to start these habits. Because think about it. You get your first deal done, or you get that first sale. Think about on your 100th sale, or that 100th deal. If you have good money habits, you've been keeping money that whole time, versus what we were doing a bunch of deals, but spending a bunch of money. What if we would have had this from day one? And I just kick myself, like, it is always a good time to implement the good money habits. This is not a system that's built for, oh, you got to have this big old business and you got to be rocking and rolling. No, if you're doing anything on the business side and you're going to work hard and you're going to bust your butt to get that money to come in, have a simple system to catch the dollars, to tell the dollars where to go. That's what Profit First is about. And that's where, once you find that keep number, it's very crystal clear. I need to attack this number. I need to bring this much in. I need to make sure the sales are enough that I could keep this and keep growing the business as well too. There you go.
Man, guys, what do you guys think about this? Drop some fires in the chat for my man David, y'all. Drop some fires in the chat real quick.
Do the most, but I do a lot.
Who's loving the numbers right now?
Make a toast, cause we
Put
still
some
alive.
fires in the chat real quick for David, y'all.
I feel like
Come on, y'all.
I shoot a shot.
Woo, woo.
I'm coming in hot.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Man, David, bro. Thank you so much, man, for being here, for sharing your wisdom and enlightening folks. And you also give them more tools to go out and do it on their own.
Yes.
Guys, I told you guys this boot camp is different, and I was going to help you guys get tools and strategies to build the habits. Now, you got to do it. I can't do it for you. I've given you the tools to be able to now start building habits that will absolutely help you start keeping money and making a lot more money that you could see, and money that's not leaking out. David, thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone. I mean, time is your most precious commodity. So I appreciate you being here. I care about each one of you because, like, I've lived that. I've lived that deal to deal cycle. Just make sure you're keeping that money. Kes, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely, brother. Thanks, David. Guys, this is what it's all about. And so we started with mindset. It's like, what's my relationship with money? We talked about how money operates in the family. Are you able to have a conversation in your family with money? Am I treating money like a saver? Is my significant other treating money as security. Like, what are those differences? What's causing the miscommunication in my family? We talked about that yesterday as well. And now today we're talking about the habits. What are some of those habits that you need, the things, practical things that you could do today? You've gotten the tools to start building habits that would get you much further with money. And now, how about how we can make some money? Who wants to make money? Put the money bag in the chat real quick. If you want to learn how to make money, how to go after money. So now we have habits, we have the mindset about money, and now we want to actually make some money. Drop some money bags in the chat, y'all, because that's what our next guest is going to help us do. Let's find some money. My man, Brandon, what's good, bro? What's up?
What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you, Keston. That was beautiful, David. He broke that down. Excellent. Appreciate you, Keston and Jazz, for having me on once again. It's always grateful for me to get an invite on your call with such life, people full of life, people full of energy, and people changing their paradigms. I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Absolutely, bro. So, man, so we've walked them through the mindset, because guys, here's the thing. I've thought about this so much where I feel responsible for giving people so much value to go out and get money, but not be able to be good stewards of that money, right? Like, I don't want to give you guys access to 100,000, 50,000, whatever, right? And you don't know how to manage it. The truth is, if I were to give you 100,000 right now, what would you do with it? Would you know how to keep it? Would you know how to manage it? So that's the reason why we started with those habits. But now we're going to help you guys get the bag. Now we're going to help them get the bag, Brandon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's start, because there's a few different elements to getting money. And it starts with you, the individual. What needs to happen? Let's start with the individual. What needs to happen for someone to go out and get access to capital? What needs to happen?
Well, like you said, you broke down the mindset, right? You broke down the paradigms, and now getting everything together, getting the systems right, right? So my name is Brandon. I teach people how to access more capital that they have in a bank account to put into businesses and to buy assets and invest in assets. So the first thing I teach people is the power of leverage. The power of leverage. So we teach people how to leverage credit in order to get capital. We teach people how to build wealth in order to put in investments and basically change their outcomes, change their life. So when we talk about leverage, I teach people how to leverage credit. So the first thing we teach about is knowing, like David was saying, what your finances look like. Knowing your credit report. How many people check their credit report every week? Put some ones in the chat if you check your credit report every single week.
Let me see. Wow. We got some diligent people in here.
It's a lot of ones in the chat. You should
love it.
Credit report as often as you check your bank account. And if you're checking your credit report as often as you're checking your bank account, you should know how to leverage that credit report to get access to probably up to 5 to 10 times more capital than you have in your bank account to scale your business and to invest in assets. Because the one thing we want to do, success loves speed. I used to wholesale. I used to do real estate. I met Keston actually doing real estate. How many real estate investors we have in the chat?
Drop a 2 in the chat. Where my real estate investors at?
What is one major thing real estate investors need if they're buying and holding, if they're flipping, if they're building a wholesale business? One central thing they all need: capital, money. Exactly. So when I was investing in real estate, I was doing my thing in the beginning. One thing I ran out of was capital. So one thing we have to do is find a plan when we're building businesses. So the first thing to do that is solve a problem. I had a big problem. So if you can always solve a big problem and find a big solution, then you can build a big business. So the one thing I had to solve was how to find capital. So that's why I stumbled upon how does credit work. When I realized I could leverage my credit report to go out to these banks to get, like Keston said, 100,000, 200,000 off a good credit profile, and actually build and scale and use that speed, because instead of saving the 200,000, try to make the 200,000, now you could build a team, you could invest, and now that time is money. Success loves speed. Now you can get to your destination faster, but it's all about building a plan. We need systems and avenues to build that plan. So like Keston was saying, a lot of people say, oh, here, go get this credit, go get this business credit card, go get this 100K line of credit. But what are you going to do with it? How are you going to leverage that to actually get to your destination? So one thing he said was build that plan, reverse engineer. So we can teach you how to get to that wealth. We can teach you how to get there. That's the easy part. But now putting that whole wealth plan together is what you need to do. So one thing we came out with, it's easy getting people capital, but one thing's missing is the wealth plan. So it's 2023. We actually came out with a system that can help you get there even faster, that I hooked up with my man Kes. A lot of people are talking about AI. A lot of people are talking about systems. We actually came up with a patented system that we're helping you get access to capital easier.
Hold on, bro. You dropping it on them already, bro? You letting the cat out the bag already?
Go ahead.
Guys, I told y'all yesterday that we had a really huge announcement. And this is what Brandon is alluding to right now. Like, I think he's more excited than me, but now we just got to do it. We just got to do it, Brandon. We just got to do it. Guys, listen to what we've been working on that is literally going to change y'all's lives. Like, legit. Tell them a little bit about what we're working on, bro.
All right, how many people know about AI? Like real true AI? I know it's 2023, we get it marketed in our faces every day. ChatGPT could write book reports, write essays, write your thesis statement. I know it can do all that. So a few people know about true AI, right? A few people know about ChatGPT. Few people use it. But how will you use it to scale wealth? Is anybody in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you're using AI to truly scale wealth? No.
Crickets.
So that's what we did. Once we said, like I said, when I ran out of money doing real estate, that was a problem. I found a solution, leverage my credit so I could get access to more capital than I actually have. Now there's a bigger problem. How do we make that transition smoother without going through all of the stuff I had to learn, all of the bumps and bruises? I didn't have profit first. I didn't know about profit first. I had to go through all the bumps and bruises, get a bad credit score, learn how to fix my credit. I had to learn how to fix my credit. I had to learn how to get a card. I had to learn how to spend that card. I had to learn about taxes, how to mitigate my taxes, how to get tax refunds. I had to learn about all of that in the process. What if we're able to build your wealth plan all in one system that can do it automatically with AI? I don't know if y'all follow.
Hold on, bro. So let's break it down a little bit. What's this taxes thing that you're talking about? Tell me a little bit about that. What is that?
So everybody qualifies for refundable and non-refundable tax credits. Whether you're have a child, whether you're a military vet, whether you're your ethnicity, people in this country qualify for consumer and business tax credits. So some of them are refundable, some of them are non-refundable. We usually use those tax credits to mitigate our expense, to mitigate our liability.
So now, go ahead.
So now, what if I told you, without you going to H&R Block, without you going through 100 CPAs or people that claim they do taxes, we can analyze who you are, your profile, and qualify you for tax credits automatically.
So you're saying that you'd be able to find out all the tax credits that I qualify for?
I can find out tax credits you qualify for, I qualify for, everybody on the score qualify for, all in one system.
See, how I try to explain this to people is that tax credits is like, it's like scholarships.
Exactly.
Right? It's like a scholarship. Now, guys, did you know that there was a scholarship for somebody that writes with their left hand, like to go to college and is probably 6 foot tall and all that type of crap? Of course you didn't know. Some people may know, but most people don't, because you gotta have specific knowledge. And that's what it's like working with tax credits. If you have a tax advisor that does not know about a specific credit, then he's gonna miss it. But with AI isn't a human that has to study this book. And so this AI system is able to know what tax credit you would qualify for in all states, every single state, without getting tired, without like, could you guys think about the power of that? Think about that. If you could get access to every tax credit that's available to you. Now that's crazy. Somebody said they missed the lefty scholarship. You sure did.
We all, like I said, if you could solve the biggest, if you could find the solution for the biggest problem, you build a successful business and you make the biggest impact. It's all about finding solutions for problems. What is AI doing? The thing about us as human beings, we can only do as much hours as we put in. We can only put in as much work as the hours allot us. AI can work 1,000 to 1,000,000 times faster than us and more efficient. iRobot is here. It's not going anywhere. The government is using it. The whole world is using it. We're just now catching up. So now we have to know how to leverage that to use it to scale our businesses. So what we did was put this in a system to build wealth. And we like to break down what we call the 4 pillars of wealth. Can I get into that?
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
So we break down the 4 pillars of wealth. I want everybody to follow me now. Credit, taxes, insurance, and funding. Why is those the 4 pillars of wealth? Because if you master each one, you will be wealthy. You can build a system and you can be wealthy. You're not no longer trading your time for money. Now let's say credit. Let's start here. I started with credit. That's how I got out of my situation with real estate. I leveraged my credit. I fixed my credit and I leveraged that to access assets and to scale my business faster and bigger than I can do it actually physically working.
They need the 4 pillars again, bro. Let's hit them with the 4 pillars.
We define the 4 pillars of wealth as credit, taxes, insurance, and funding. With credit, we need to stop putting too much value on paper money, fiat money, regular money, right? Money, we only give money a value because we can trade it for an asset. So money is meaningless. The value is in what we can trade it for. So once we realize that, we don't have to put so much money on so much value on keeping money and holding on to money. We're trying to give it up to an actual asset or something that's valuable. So now transfer that to credit. We're trying to get as much credit as we can to leverage that for value.
So let's talk about credit for a second. So guys, credit is still using other people's money.
OPM.
I want you guys to get this, right? Credit is literally, you're using the bank's money. It's not like you could go get a credit card. Whose money is it? Where did you get that money from? Think about it this way. You walk into the bank and you get qualified for $50,000. And now you're like, oh, that's my $50,000. But where did you get that $50,000 from? It was credited to you. It's not your money. And that's the reason why getting a financial education is so important, because some people get uptight with the bank's money. It's not yours. It's other people's money. Does that make sense? It works exactly like a private money lender. When a private money lender give you money and you got to pay it back, What's the difference? It is no different. If that makes sense, drop a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure that we're clear, because I know some people got some resistance to credit, but I want to make sure that we're all tracking here. Look like they're tracking, bro. Let's keep going.
Listen, put some ones in the chat if you're gonna go home and do exactly what David just broke down. Keep putting ones in the chat if you're gonna do exactly what David just broke down. That's the first step to put yourself in a position of wealth. Doing exactly what David broke down is the first step to put yourself in a position of wealth. That's going to give you, once you can track your finances, you're going to be able to improve your credit and keep more money in your pocket. So once you have a great credit profile, right? A personal credit profile, what we're going to do next, of course, you're going to set up your business. Now you have your business entity. Now you access business credit, business loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. Now with business loans and lines of credit, we're going to use that to scale our business. Now this whole time we have a plan in place. Like what David said, we're setting up a pathway. We're setting up a financial plan. So now once we have a plan, we mitigate our chances of failing. Now it's all about leverage. So now we built our credit profile, right? Now we can access business lines of credit, business loans, now to scale our business or to invest in assets. Now we're not even using the money in our bank account. It's all about leveraging the credit system. That's what America was built off of.
See, I think you got to say it again for the person in the back of the room, bro, because I don't know if they're picking up what you're putting down right now.
Leveraging the credit system is what America was built off. Drop some fires in the chat if y'all follow me. Drop some fires in the chat if y'all follow me.
Look like they following, man. Look like they following.
Now, let me paint this picture. What if now I can leverage my personal credit score, get access to, let's just say, $100K line of credit from the bank in business credit. Now I can buy a property. I buy an asset that's increasing in value. Now, once I buy this asset, because a lot of you people are real estate investors, now I also qualify for refundable and non-refundable tax credits. Now, once I qualify for refundable and non-refundable tax credits, we're now entering the status of building wealth. Because now we're leveraging money that we never had to put in hours for. Our money's making money now. We didn't have to put in hours for this money. We didn't have to work 20, 30 hours. When we stop working, the money don't come. No, we access money from the bank. And what doesn't close is the bank. The biggest lender in the country is the bank, no matter if it's an up year or a down year. America is cyclical. That means it goes up every couple of years, it goes down. But what's always giving money is the bank. So if you know how to always get money from the bank, you can always make money. Now I'm accessing capital from the bank, putting it to an asset that's going to keep improving in value. And at the end of the year, I can write that asset off and get money back or mitigate my income and rinse and repeat. That's wealth building. That's money making money that you never had to take out your pocket.
Man, we got to break that down. Who's still trying to find your first deal? Put a 1 in the chat. If you're still trying to get your first deal, put a 1 in the chat. Perfect. Who's still saying, man, if I only had money, I'll be able to get a deal? Like you've seen opportunities, but you didn't have the money to get the deal. Put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know who's here. Put a 2 in the chat if you've seen opportunity, but you didn't have the money. So if you guys pay attention to what we're sharing right now, you wouldn't be able to use the second excuse anymore. Well, it's not an excuse right now. The fact is you don't know how to raise money. Fine. Maybe you're an introvert. Maybe you like talking to people, but nobody trusts you yet, right? They haven't seen you perform, so nobody wants to give you money. Or maybe they want to give it to you at a ridiculous rate, like a hard money lender or something like that, at something that is scary to you. But what Brandon is talking about right now, you're able to go and get funding and get money on your own dime, your own LLCs, your own name, whatever it takes to go get your first deal, to go get your 12th deal, it doesn't matter which deal it is, the bank is always going to give you money if you understand how to use it and how to access it. So what pillar are we on right now? Because you just hit them with buying a property and getting tax credits. Well, let me see real quick, Brandon. Who already owns property, even if it's your own house? Drop a 1 in the chat. If you already own property, if it's your own house, perfect. So I'm talking to you guys right now. If you own property, it's your own house or rentals, and you're not getting tax credits, drop a 2 in the chat. If you don't even know what tax credit is, or you've never applied for a tax credit, Brandon, we got a lot of work to do, bro.
We got a lot.
They're leaving so much money on the table right now.
We got a lot of work to do.
Oh my God, this is instant money, legit. Oh my God, bro.
And
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you the best part, right? So that was just 3, right? Like I broke down credit, broke down getting access to capital, which is funding, and I broke down tax credits, right? Refundable, non-refundable tax credits. Now there's one more, right? Insurance. How many people know about insurance? How many people, let's just list, how many people have life insurance policies? Put a 1 in the chat. If you have life insurance policies, put a 1 in the chat. Now, put a 2 in the chat if you're actively leveraging that life insurance policy to build wealth. Not just using it for the death benefit. You're actively using it to build wealth. Put a 2 in the chat. What? Starting? Not yet? Okay, we're going to break that down, right? So that's the 4th pillar, right? So a lot of people get scared when we talk about life insurance, right? So that's part of building their plan, right? That's part of what David said. When you're talking about finances, life insurance should come up. That should be the topic of conversation in your house. Number 1, yes, for the death benefit, yes. But number 2, you can build wealth by using life insurance strategies. And what I mean by that, there are term policies, there are whole life policies, and there are index universal life policies. So there's different types of life insurance policies. So we can set up policies where that same 100,000, right? And we're all using leverage. We can put in a policy where we're able to gain high interest on that policy, and we're thinking about being investors. We put that X amount of dollars in the policy. That money's gaining high interest. We can then now borrow against that policy, take that money out while it's still gaining interest inside that policy, and put it in another investment. So now we're still using the power of leverage all around. This is the same money that we borrowed from the bank.
Man, you
leveraging
blowing minds, bro. You blowing minds. I don't even know if they getting that right now. Are y'all picking up what Brandon's putting down right now, y'all? Like, you say it again. Say it again. Say it again, bro. Say it again.
Same money that we're borrowing from the biggest lender in the country, which is a bank. Leveraging our credit, we're taking that money and we can put it inside a life insurance policy and have it gain high interest. While it's gaining high interest, you can borrow against that policy and take that money out. That money that you just put in, that same 100, is gaining interest off that same 100 while you borrowed off of it, and you can use that money to invest in a deal or to scale your business. And then put that money back in the policy. That's called compound interest, but we can get into that another time.
Bro, so hold on. So I just got money from the bank. I borrowed money from the bank.
Yes.
They gave me 100,000, right? I'm taking that 100,000, I'm putting it in the life insurance policy.
Yes.
Let's say the life insurance policy is giving me back 6%, right?
Mhm.
Let's just say 6%. Now I could borrow against that money but the life insurance policy still is giving me 6% based on the first amount that I put in, which is the 100,000.
Yes.
So although I borrowed, let's say 60,000 from this policy, it's still giving me 6% on 100,000.
Yes.
So now I could take this 60,000, go invest it in a deal, go do a flip, make more money while that 100,000 is still compounding and making money. And so I take that 60,000 while that money is working. I'm over here working, got that money flipping for me. And then I take that money back. Now I made a flip, and now let's say I made 40K on that flip. And so I take that $60,000 back, 40K profit, and then I put that $60,000 back in the policy. And that's like, bro. So I used my money. I used the government's bank money twice to make money.
That's how you truly build wealth. So when
But
they
hold
say,
on, bro. But hold on, bro. But hold on. But what if, right? What if, let's go up until the point where I take the money out of the whole life insurance. I go do a flip. But instead of using the money, I pay for it with a credit card, and I pay off my credit card with the money that I took out the whole life. So now I just got points on top of that. So now I just spent my money 3 times.
Oh man, I think you going crazy.
I'm going too far. All right, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna stop.
For that. He
I'm
going
gonna
crazy.
stop. I'm gonna stop.
We gotta drop some fires in the chat for that.
I'm gonna stop because I don't know, guys. If y'all ready for this money game, man, if y'all are ready for this money game, this is why we're here. Like, when I tell you, like, paradigm breaking stuff, this is a mindset. There's knowledge, but then there's courage that's needed to actually execute on this, because you need the habits to make it happen. Y'all seeing what I'm saying? Like, we could give you this game all day, and a lot of y'all probably ain't gonna do nothing with it because you don't have the right habits in place. You don't have the right coach. You don't have the right anything in place. Brandon, bro. So let's get back to the AI. Let's get back to AI.
I'm gonna bring it full circle for you guys, right? Like I said, I like to find big problems, and create big solutions. So now, when me and Kes, we have conversations like this every day. This is normal talk. Some of you guys might be like, oh my God, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. The biggest problem is, now how do I put this together and deliver it where everybody can easily absorb this? We found that solution. What if I said we can put this together and have you go through each step seamlessly with a system that can qualify you, analyze your profile, qualify you for business funding, and if you don't qualify, it'll help you fix your credit to get business funding automatically. Now, when you qualify, it'll get you business funding. No, it's not walking you into the bank, have you talk to bankers. What if I told you it can automatically fill out applications and apply for cards for you and get you funded without you manually doing it?
Who's in for that? Who wants a piece of that?
Is that something will save you some time? Is that something some energy?
I don't know, Brandon. I think some of them still want to go to Credit Karma or something like that. Like, that isn't based on them, you know, like, I'm not seeing enough fires in the chat. I don't know, bro. I don't think they're as excited as I am about this opportunity that we're about to kind of like, guys, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Tell them what we got. Tell them what we have, bro.
So what we have is something that is going to do everything me and Keston just broke down. So you're not all over the place, have to learn how to build your credit, have to learn how to get funding, have to learn how to figure out what the heck tax strategies are, have to learn how to figure out, I have to figure out what insurance is, how do I build a policy? This AI system is doing something that no man can do. It's going to qualify your credit report. It's going to analyze it, get you funding. If you don't have funding, it's going to get you credit repair. Then it's going to analyze you and see what tax credits you qualify for. No CPA can qualify all 50 states for tax credits. Only an AI system can do that because it can scan the entire country, the entire World Wide Web, and see what you qualify for. Only an AI system can do that. So we have a system that's going to scan you and figure out where you fit in for tax credits. Then it's going to analyze you and figure out what policy is best for you to now set up your policy. So it's building an all-in-one wealth system delivered for you without you have to put in 5 years, 6 years of learning this. Is that something that can help you guys and help fast forward your journey? Put some ones in the chat.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Put some ones
I
in the
don't
chat.
know.
Can that fast forward your wealth building journey?
Man, insane. Insane.
I think it might help them a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a tiny little bit.
Just a little bit.
Man, guys, Brandon, bro, see, this is right now, we're getting into something that I really wanted to reserve for people who really wanted to jump in to know more about the program. So guys, are you guys getting value from tonight? Did you guys learn some things about finding money and all that type of stuff? Are you learning something tonight? Y'all got all of the gifts with David. Brandon came in and told you some of the things you needed to do to how to get money, just in how you think about it. And so, guys, they need the beat, bro. They're like, Kes, why you holding up on the beat? They want that beat to drop, y'all. So we gonna drop the beat real quick. Cause Brandon coming in hot. Who thinks Brandon is coming in hot right now, y'all? Drop that beat for my man B. Come on, y'all. Light up the chat real quick.
I'm coming in hot.
Light up the chat real quick for Brandon, y'all. I think they like the AI, Brandon. Come on.
I think so.
Let's go. Hey.
Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita.
Man, listen, guys, listen. So, guys, I'm gonna respect the people, like, because this is a boot camp. I came here to give you guys value. A lot of people have been asking about the financial paradigm reboot program, which is a coaching program. And so, as it is for the boot camp, we are like, that's it for the boot camp, guys. Thank you all for being here. Today is day 2. If you love day 2, you're going to absolutely love day 3. Day 3, I'm going to be helping you guys strategically plan all the things that we talked about to go forward. So tomorrow is all about strategic planning and executing on the things that we learned and answering questions for you guys. So you don't want to miss. Same time tomorrow. We're going to be here at 7:30 Eastern. Now, for the guys who wants to know more about the financial paradigm reboot, we're all going to jump in another Zoom and I'm going to explain to you guys more about that program over there, because I want to respect the people who came out just to get the value. We're going to jump over there right now. So let me see where that link is at real quick, because my wife definitely gave it to me earlier. There it is. So we're starting that Zoom right now, y'all. We're gonna keep this up for about 2 minutes. But I'm going over there. I'm going to be showing you guys all of the value that this reboot program is going to give you. Here's the link. Appreciate and love every single one of you. See you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. Brandon, hop over there with me, brother. See you in a little bit.